Hey, Black Belt News Network, it's Todd. We are in the Tech Center in Marion, Alabama, sitting next to Mr. Donald Bennett. Hey, Donald.
How you doing, Todd?
Good to meet you. Good to meet you.
Yeah, oh,
Again.
that's
Good
right.
to see you.
Good to see you.
And I got some disturbing news about Vaiden Airport, Vaiden Field, that AlDOT has suspended the license right now for a number of what they consider safety problems. Could you expand on that and tell us what's going on and what's going to be done to rectify the situation?
Absolutely. Well, let me give you a little context on that.
Okay.
We have some new board members on the Perry County Airport and Industrial Board.
Right.
And so I asked, we reached out to AlDOT and asked them to come out and give us an update where we are, what needs to be corrected, how do we get everything in line. And they said they would send somebody out, which they did. They sent somebody out, and what they found was there were some deficiencies at the airport. There's no gate up at that, a security gate up at that airfield.
Yeah,
And what they had found, somebody was out there and they had left turn streaks on the ground, and over like near the fuel pumps.
Oh, you mean like doing donuts?
Yeah, they were doing donuts out there. And so down at the far end of the runway, there was evidence where somebody had like set a fire with some wood or garbage or something, and there was a cable that was like wrapped around one of the lights. So it was just some mischievous efforts that went on out at that airport. We had contacted the sheriff since they had done that. They were making some routine runs at the airport, and they're continuing to do so we could stop some of that activity. But in the interim, they said, look, we're gonna suspend the license until some of that stuff can be addressed, as well as some of the markings out there need to be repainted for the runway markings for the pilots to come in.
Right.
And so we knew that there were going to be some deficiencies that we're working on. We have in the pipeline some grants and requests for monies that will go toward the airfield to bring that up, to fix the infrastructure. And so we're actually have a meeting scheduled with AlDOT, and we're going to meet at Marion Military Institute and talk about all the things that we're going to do and the plans that we have in the works. And we have no problem with knowing that they will be releasing that suspension once we address those issues and we can start operating out of Vaiden again.
But didn't they point out some of the trees and things like that? They pointed that out before.
They had pointed out some of the trees, and we had it sprayed to kill a lot of that Johnson grass and that problem. But some of the trees, because they can't be within so many feet of that runway, and so we have contacted someone that's going to cut those trees down to make sure that it's all cleared out. And understanding, there's not a lot of revenue coming into that airfield. So we're using the resources that we have to make sure we can maintain that. But we're going to take care of it, and we're going to make sure it's cleaned off, and we have a plan in place. And sometimes you just have to postpone, and maybe the suspension temporarily is a good thing, just to hold it down till we can get that airport really cleared up, bring in people that will make sure that airport will be a premier place where people can fly into and enjoy that airfield. But we're addressing the issues that are out there.
Well, that's good, because I guess, like you say, this might also raise some red flags with some folks, so that maybe they'll be more adamant about getting these problems fixed.
Absolutely. And it's interesting that you say that, because I've had some conversations with some of the people that might be able to provide us some of the funding we need to bring that airfield.
That was going to be my next question. If private and outside, other than government funding, can be used for the airfield.
Yes.
But being controlled and regulated by government, I wouldn't know what the legalities are. But people could donate or help in some way.
And we're reaching out to different entities and organizations. And we received a strategic plan through Delta Regional Authority.
Right.
And part of those funds that we're using is to cover the cost of a SEEDS grant, which is a site development grant for an assessment of the airfield. And so we're doing that site evaluation for economic development for Vaiden Field, and we just got approved through first round, and we'll see if we can make it through the whole thing to get an assessment done of the airfield. And from that, then we can start getting monies in there to really bring that airport up to be a functional airport as it needs to be, with having to go back and address those small things with trees and Johnson grass growing up and markings. We'll get those addressed and get that airfield operating and running like it should.
Right, because those small things have a major impact on
Very much
the viability of the airport. And again, you have said so many times in the past that with that airport could come quite a bit of
Economic
industrial and economic development in the area if we
Yes.
can use the airport.
Absolutely, and those are some of the things that's going on. At the same time, when we're working on the airfield and the airport, we're working on getting development around that airfield at the same time.
Right.
And at times you cannot do all of those things at the same time. And so you start working on one project and then you get that one finished and you work on the next one. But the funds, if they come in at the same time, would be a great thing and the development that can happen. And we're in a good spot right now.
Well, and you're talking about getting the work done. Do you have any kind of time frame at this point as to when some of the work is going to be done and when it could be completed?
Well, we're definitely going to address the issue with the trees and that immediately. And as far as the security of the airfield, we've already addressed that, and
Yeah,
we have right, and we have some further addressing that will be done because we're going to be putting security cameras out at the airfield so we can monitor who's at that airfield, who's out there, and we'll be able to turn that information over to the sheriff department as well. So all of those things will work in tandem.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm looking at as far as getting the trees cut down and that maintained, that will be taken care of before the end of the year. That will all be done. And so we'll start moving forward in a way where we can start getting people in the hangars, utilizing the airfield, and bring another airport manager back out to the airfield to manage.
Which is, I guess, your ultimate goal is to make that a viable and
Yes.
a functioning, usable,
Airfield.
on a daily basis airstrip.
Absolutely.
And what kind of things would you like to see out there
Oh, I think,
initially and long term?
Oh yeah, well, as far as economic development, I mean, we're looking at anywhere from distribution centers, small manufacturing, anything that would bring some type of jobs to the area, but development to the airfield. And we're looking at putting more airplanes out there. Marion Military Institute, they are running a tremendous pilot training program.
Yes, yeah.
And so temporarily they're operating out of Craig Airfield, but our goal is to have them come back to Vaiden Field, and they can operate that pilot training program out there at Vaiden Field. And potentially we can grow a program where long term we can get more hangars out there, bigger hangars, larger aircraft, and potentially maybe even get some type of government contracts, military aircrafts that could come out there. We could fuel those and maybe even do some type of small aircraft maintenance work on some airplanes. So those are some of the goals that we would like to put in place and utilize that airfield for that. Having a runway that's 10,000 feet and it's resurfaced to 6,377 feet. Initially, we would like to work on some things and maybe we can get that extended to 8,000 feet, and then we can get different types of aircraft out there, which would bring more revenue, more fuel sales, and we could build the airfield up to something that would be really usable. But those are the directions that we want to go in. But initially, when working with ALDOT, respecting what they require, because that keeps everyone safe.
Right.
We understand it. And we appreciate at least them coming out and doing the assessment. So they said, look, let's go ahead and suspend it temporarily until we can get them resolved.
And obviously this is a long-term thing. This isn't something that's going to happen overnight.
It is not going to happen overnight, but it is something that we're working on immediately.
Right.
So we can get it addressed, but we want to address it so it's long-term.
What would your final comment to the community, both here in Perry County and to the Black Belt in general, be regarding Vaiden Field at this point?
I would say it is a functional piece of property that is so important to the sustaining development of this area, and to understand that we are working hard. The Perry County Airport and Industrial Authority is working very hard to make sure that that is a jewel for this area and continue to grow so we can make it develop for everyone. Because we wanted to make sure initially, when I had taken over as the chairman of the board, they were in such a financial constraint that we had to fix the financial issues first.
Right, we talked about that before.
Right, paying off all of the contractors that were due funds in the bank and setting all of that up, and the lien that was on the airfield. Getting that removed was a major piece, and getting the contractors paid, and we do not have any balances that we owe on that airfield that is going to hold us back from growing it now, and that was substantial. And to do that from the end of 2020 until 2025, getting it completely removed, we made some major strides. Now we can start looking at bringing the airfield up to the standard it needs to be. Now we can grow it.
Well, I appreciate you spending some time and letting us know what's going on there. Thank you so much.
Anytime, and I
And-
appreciate you coming to ask
Well,
me
I'm glad,
directly
yeah.
so we can get this going, and we're
Yeah.
going to build that airport as we're doing like downtown. It all fits.
Yeah, and well, it brings me to the next thing I should have asked already. If there is a donor or an investor of some sort who might be able to help, what would they need to do to get in touch with? And I guess you.
Yes, they can always reach me at being the board president of Main Street, Marion. I would say you can always reach me at my email, which is donald.mainstreetmarion@gmail.com.
Okay.
It's donald.mainstreetmarion@gmail.com.
Well, I'll put it right down here.
That's
How
fine.
they always do the finger
Yes.
like this. Because when we're recording this, there's nothing
There's
there.
nothing there, but
But there will be
that's-
when I edit it.
That's where it will be. So
it'll
good.
be
They
there.
can always email me. I will respond back, and I would love to get more participation out at
Right.
that airfield and draw the attention to it, because the more that we can do, the better it is.
Great. Thank you again.
Thank you.
See you again soon.
All right.
All right, BBNN, thanks for watching.